Hello everybody, welcome back to the Bad at Bookers Wrestling Podcast. My name is Jack and today we are reviewing SmackDown Live. A decent SmackDown Live. I thought decent. It was pretty much all about just building to Elimination Chamber, which I quite liked. We don't usually see that a couple of weeks before the pay-per-view, or 2-3 weeks before the pay-per-view. We don't see that enough, so just keep on building up into the Elimination Chamber. It'll make the matches feel big. Simple. Wrestling can be so simple sometimes. Let's get into it. Before we do, go down, leave a like on the video, subscribe if you are new, or you haven't done so already, and leave a comment on how you thought SmackDown Live went if you watched it too. We kicked SmackDown Live off with Charlotte Flair, who opens the show. There's a video package of last night, obviously with Steph and Becky, that whole shenanigans going on there, and Charlotte says that Becky let her arrogance get in the way. She let her arrogance get the best of her, if you will. But it doesn't matter because, you know, everything with the doctors and a knee. Charlotte Flair knows someone who's 100% and willing to face Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania. And she then points to the WrestleMania sign. It's pointing season. Points to the sign, only for Becky Lynch to pop up in the crowd just below the sign, which I thought was really good, actually. That looked quite I don't know, there's something visually about it looked quite good. She then walks down from the crowd, Charlotte saying that make sure this fan's got a ticket, etc. And Becky Lynch comes down to the ground, hops over the barricades, all the refs start coming out and production agents and whatnot come down, security's there. But they just let her jump into the ring even though she's suspended, you know. Good job, boys, well done. She tells Charlotte that there's absolutely no way that Charlotte Flair will take Becky Lynch's spot at WrestleMania. But before long, Triple H came out, his music hit. He then came out and basically he tells Charlotte, this doesn't concern you, bugger off, love. And then tells Becky to go see the doctor, but more importantly, you're suspended, go home, basically. And as Trips is about to leave the ring, Becky just jumps on the mic again and goes, how's Steph? You know, is she medically cleared? And I thought that was quite good, asking if she was medically cleared and whatnot. Vince then says that, you know, he bought into all this hype about Becky Lynch, but now he can see it. Becky Lynch is just a self-destructor, and that Becky is always looking for a way out, whether that was Survivor Series, going to Raw to find an excuse not to fight Ronda Rousey, and she got that, knowing that it'd be a suicide mission going to Raw. She got injured, and that was a good enough excuse not to face Ronda Rousey. And now, you know, she's got this knee brace on, but Triple H doesn't think she might be injured, thinks she might be faking it all. Just, you know, have another excuse to not face Ronda Rousey. And Tripp says that he doesn't think that she's scared of going to the doctor to say that she won't be cleared, but she's scared to go to the doctor to say that she is cleared to face Ronda Rousey. And Becky Lynch, after punching Stephanie McMahon right in the face, goes ahead and slaps Triple H, and there's this intense stare down between the two, which just leaves Becky with a wry smile on her face as she then turns around, hops back over the barricade, and walks up the stairs in the arena, and out of sight. Decent start to SmackDown Live. I was going to say, well, that's decent start to SmackDown Live. You know, it's teasing the fact of the whole Charlotte thing. I still think they're going to have this match at Fastlane. I think that's the only logical thing that can happen at the moment. This match at Fastlane between Becky and Charlotte. If Charlotte wins, then it's a triple threat at Mania. I think that's quite logical in my eyes because, you know, people are going to think, oh, Charlotte's definitely going to win. Then people might think, oh, they might have Becky go over to make her look strong before Mania. Personally, I wouldn't mind either way. Storyline wise, Becky versus Ronda, 100%. Match quality wise, probably had Charlotte. It'd probably be a much better match if Charlotte was in there. Not saying that Becky versus Ronda won't be a good match, but Becky, Ronda and Charlotte all in the same ring, I think that would be absolutely quality. Our first match of the evening saw the Club versus Shinsuke Nakamura and Rusev, the match that was set up last week because the Club were trying to defend our truth, basically, and not much really happened in this match. It was a decent enough match, not much really happened. The finish came when Lana was screaming at Nakamura to get up. He was like led on the outside because he'd just been hit by a move or something, and he was led on the outside. Lana was telling him to get up. Once again, took her heel off. If you're going to take your heel off, mate, just use it. Just twat Nakamura on the face of it. The Club then pick up Rusev, who was the legal competitor, up for the Magic Killer. Is it the Magic Killer? It is the Magic Killer, isn't it? Yeah, the Magic Killer. Why did I lose my... questioned myself, and I shouldn't have done. But Nakamura jumped back into the ring, kicked Luke Gallows in the back of the leg, which dropped Luke Gallows as well as Rusev nearly on his head. So nearly dangerous. And then a Kinshasa to Luke Gallows. But as Nakamura was about to celebrate and turn around, massive drop kick from Karl Anderson, who then did the same thing, went to celebrate, turned around into a match kick, and Rusev picking up the win over Karl Anderson with the pinfall. Like I said, decent enough match, but in terms of story basis, it's kind of all over the place, but it's good to see the Club back on TV. We then saw a match between Mustafa Ali and Randy Orton. This was a more slick match. At one point in the match, Mustafa Ali, I think Randy Orton must have punched him in the face by accident or something, but his eye had proper swelled up. There's a picture somewhere going on Twitter of his eye all swelled up. If I can find it, I might even lay it over this. If not, search Twitter, Mustafa Ali eye or something. His eye just proper swelled up, and he came out later in the night as well. Pretty mental. This match, lovely, perfect finish to the match, I thought, which saw Mustafa Ali going for the moonsault DDT kind of daily, and before he did it, he looked round to see where Randy Orton was. Like, he teased the jump, then looked around, and Randy Orton was already there going for the RKO, and that gave Mustafa Ali enough time to like adjust, go around the other side, and hit the DDT off the middle rope. It's not a moonsault; he kind of just jumps off backwards, but turns and hits the DDT. You know what I mean? But he did that, hit the DDT, and that gave him the momentum to go up for the 054, the reverse 450, surprisingly. But this time, Randy Orton got up, yanked his leg off the top turnbuckle, and kind of yanked it while Mustafa Ali jumped at the same time, giving him enough space to RKO Mustafa Ali out of his shoes and picking up the win. 1, 2, 3. Right result, I think. I don't have Mustafa Ali going over Randy Orton just yet. Give it 6 months or so on the roster, and Mustafa Ali can easily go over Randy Orton. But to build up credible threats, I don't think anyone thinks Mustafa Ali is going to win the Elimination Chamber. I don't think anyone's going to think Orton's going to win the Elimination Chamber, but Orton's got that mystique about him that, you know, he's a veteran kind of thing. He's a young veteran, if you will, and he's got that aura about him. Like, he could just come in, take the belt, and he'll put on a decent enough program with the belt. Personally, I don't think Daniel Bryan's losing it, but that doesn't matter. After the match, Samoa Joe comes out, and out of nowhere, like he said to Randy Orton last week, he put the coquina clutch onto Randy, and then choked him out a little bit before letting go and kicking Mustafa Ali out the ring. And then it just turned into a massive brawl at this point. I think, was it this match? Oh no, it was the main event match. This match saw Samoa Joe do that. He then jumps out the side of the ring, and Daniel Bryan's music hit, and he was there rubbing his hands like, oh yeah, I'm going to get the champ now. Daniel Bryan comes out, stops at the top of the ramp as Samoa Joe is walking towards him, but before Samoa Joe could lay his hands on Daniel Bryan, Eric Rowan came out and kind of protected him, like, jog on mate, you ain't getting anywhere near him. And Samoa Joe just laughed, walked away, and then Daniel Bryan cut a promo. I don't know why he didn't do this before his match later on in the night, but I don't know. He cut a promo because obviously they're in his hometown of Washington, and he said that he's finally in a place with intelligent and smart people and who realise the world needs change, saying that he's fighting an uphill battle because with everyone else he represents as the planet's champion, no one else gets it, but here in Washington you all understand my struggle, basically. He shows off the new weed belt, new hemp belt, and says that this belt is a signal for change. He then gives Eric Rowan time to speak on the mic, and the fans were less than cooperative with him, if you will. And Daniel Bryan, basically, he just said that everyone fears them, and they will try and stop at nothing to silence Daniel Bryan, but they won't get a chance to. Daniel Bryan then jumps back on the mic and says, "How dare you what my good friend Rowan?" Goes on again about how he's the best in the planet, you know, how everyone else just wants to kill the planet and whatnot. And then they both walk off, but why? I don't get why they did this. Apparently they advertised Almas versus Ray again. I wouldn't mind seeing that again. Like, it's all well and good, we haven't seen that in like a week or so show us that. Or have this promo before their match with Jeff. It would make sense either way, I don't know. We then had a weird kind of triple threat tag team match. I thought Carmella and Naomi are now a tag team. I kind of thought they were facing someone to qualify, but once again, a SmackDown team has just been let in without having to qualify. If one team on one side of the brand has to qualify, the other side surely has to as well. I don't get what's going on. But it was a match between the IIconics, Carmella and Naomi, and Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. It was an okay match, not much to really talk about. Mandy Rose picking up the pinfall win over Naomi and hitting her finisher, which looks like kind of like the fairy tale ending which Ciampa does. I don't know the name of it. They didn't say the name because when she hit the finisher, Tom Phillips just went, Mandy Rose just hit the cover. So unless it's called cover, I don't know what it's called. Mandy Rose picked up the win anyway. I felt like there was a bigger gap between Daniel Bryan promo in this match, but oh well, the main event happened. Daniel Bryan versus Jeff Hardy. It looks like Jeff Hardy's about to pick up a pinfall victory over the WWE Champion, hitting a Twist of Fate and a Swanton Bomb on him, but he was too close to the ropes when he went for the pinfall, and Eric Rowan managed to grab him, yank him out the ring, and then chucked him into the ring steps, which caused the DQ finish. Eric Rowan did that, chucked him into the ring steps, chucked him back into the ring, and Daniel Bryan applied the yes lock. I can't remember the name of it. They've changed the name of it, but it's the yes lock, you know. It's the crippler crossface, if you will, if you're a fan of Chris Benoit. Should I say that? Yeah, I should. But it wasn't long before Samoa Joe came down, destroyed Eric Rowan, threw him back into the ring steps, jumped into the ring, got Daniel Bryan up into a Coquina clutch, and then it all just fell apart from here, basically. Randy Orton then came out to get revenge on Samoa Joe after the attack earlier, and then Mustafa Ali came out to get revenge on both Joe and Randy Orton, and he was drop kicking everyone, flying out of the ring, suicide dives, and then AJ Styles' music hits, and as he comes storming to the ring, he clears house, he clears everyone, he hit a phenomenal forearm onto Jeff Hardy, I think it was, and then at this time, Daniel Bryan and Eric Rowan are already at the top of the ramp, and there's a stare down between AJ and Daniel Bryan. It felt like a bit of a go-home show, but it was a good go-home show, and if we can have go-home shows every week to build up, to give you a reason to buy the pay-per-view, good, because this show was pretty good. I'm going to give it 3.25 stars. 3.25 stars. It was decent enough show. It kept me invested in the storylines, and it built it up a little bit more, which I'm liking a hell of a lot. If you like that, please leave a like on the video. It means a hell of a lot to me. I don't know what that was. leave a like on the video, subscribe if you're new or you haven't done so already, and I shall see you again very, very soon. Thank you very much for watching.